So we'll see if it pays off. It comes into factor. Looks like the first game is going to be Mage versus the Druid. And Kolento was testing out this Mage a lot on the ladder, and it worked out pretty well. And he's already have his own flair with it, like Zombie Chow, for example. Oh, wait, hold on. This is a different variation of it. He was playing more of the Mech Mage, but he's got Doomsayer in this.
Oh, I've seen this Mage. I've seen Kolento play this Mage. He's had quite a bit of success with it as well.
Okay.
I've ran Doomsayer in a lot of decks as well. I've seen a lot of players, at least in ladder, maybe not in tournaments, cut Silence. So Doomsayer just makes it so you can play late game Mage. You can make use out of really powerful cards like Summoning Portal, like a Medivh. And yeah, I mean, I really like his deck. I haven't seen it been too dominant, but you know, maybe this will be the first.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's not impressive until it is. Or I guess you're an idiot until you're a genius, especially when it comes to Hearthstone.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you use Wrath on this? It's a Zombie Chow.
I mean, you could Wrath it later. It's just, I guess you might as well do it now. I don't know. The real game is gonna be what's gonna come out of the Summoning Portal, because like Druids don't have very good removal.
No, it's an abomination.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's. I just don't know the application of it at immediately.
Well, here you have a few options. Like, it's a pretty decent turn to Doomsayer, even just because it's not really going to work too well later on in the game.
Right.
He does go with Abomination, which looks like, actually, even if it forces a swipe, it's not very good. Right? You have to trade. You basically have to eat 6 damage and spend your turn. So it kind of accomplishes the same thing as the Doomsayer. It's just you deal damage to your opponent.
Yep. And you get to keep the Doomsayer too, if you can bait out silences. You do have Sylvanas. That most likely will take a Keeper of the Grove, and hopefully your opponent won't have an answer to your Doomsayer. So then the primary win condition of this deck is through like a mid-range control approach?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it just it's a very good control deck. It has a lot of answers. I think Kolento, I think he is running Antonidas as well. I mean, I don't think you run Toshli without Antonidas. I think you run Antonidas and then you consider if you want to run Toshli.
Yeah, the spare parts, of course, like it does synergize. You're absolutely right. So I think it would make total sense if you did that. Drops the Doomsayer so we can set up a pretty strong Toshli on the board too. Do you like including it personally? Because I know some people were divided. They felt like it was cool, but it wasn't a great card.
I think Toshli is a really good card with Antonidas. If you have a lot of synergy with the spare parts, Toshli is pretty good. I think he's really the answer, like, if you want spare parts but don't want to run mechs, he's like your go-to. Because like Yeti is okay, but if you don't have like the Clockwork Gnome and or the town dude,
Tinkertown.
Yeah, I'm still weak with the names. That guy.
T3.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like if you don't have at least like 2 out of 3 of those, it's kind of hard to build up spare parts to make too much out of them. And Toshli is pretty nice. Like, he's good enough of a creature. The 5 attack is basically just as good as 6 against anything but Druid. Against Druid.
Ooh, Tice hold, by the way, and he opts instead of to use Silence because the board's not worth keeping at that stage since everything will be challenged by the Mage Hero power. Yeah. And that allows Kolento to go for a free Toshli on the board, and he gets a Rewinder, which can still be really powerful with some of the cards in his deck.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tice is still in pretty decent shape. Like, mages, one thing they don't have is a very good way to heal in general. I think Kolento's deck also doesn't have much of a heal. He might have one antique heal bot, but that's about it. So, I mean, the board state is still good enough to win. I think he's going for the Cenarius here.
He's got unstable portal crit. We can always believe.
Yeah. I don't know if he can use it though right now. Use unstable. Like, I think you have to play Sylvanas here, and you should even consider using Flame Strike.
Okay, well he chooses to use Flame Strike. Makes sense. I mean, there's not a lot of value oftentimes unless Druid builds up an insane board of like mid-range creatures, and even then it's usually 5 health. So Flame Strike is not super insane in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. Force of Nature, Force of Nature. Oh. I do believe I've seen Thijs play this deck before. In fact, I don't think I've seen a single GBG card.
Not yet. I mean, some players, I know like Frozen, for example, in North America, he got #1 NA just through playing the regular token deck, but just sliding in Dr. Boom. Like, that was the only GBG card. You took out Karen or you took out whatever, you just put Dr. Boom in.
There's that heal bot. That's pretty much the only heal Kolento has, I think.
Wow. You get to Dread Corsair.
Oh,
That's
man.
funny.
It's as if he has a 3-attack weapon.
I always knew Kolento would bring a pirate deck to the tournament one day.
Yeah. That was one of the decks I tried near the start. It was okay.
Meh.
It destroyed priests. Like that 4-1 when you play a pirate, stealth them up. Oh, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, because like the first thing priests cut with the pyromancers.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Then they got placed back in after a while, and that's probably not really good anymore.
That's pretty troll, man. Funny. He's only got spells and removal and the combo, but still is a pretty far distance from it.
He's like full health though, more than full health. I think Thijs is still in decent shape.
I mean, he's in decent shape too, partially because Kolento doesn't really have anything. I mean, he's got Sylvanas as a threat, or he's got a way to just play really passively.
I think Kolento might Doomsayer here. And I think if he Doomsayers, Thijs just gonna combo him. Gonna get him to 6.
Oh,
there's the
Time
Doomsayer.
Rewinder on the Antique Heal bot. It's clever.
That does give him a little bit more healing. That actually might counter Thijs's. Yeah, actually might counter Thijs's ability to burst them down.
Yeah, I like saving Sylvanas too because Druid often has a lot of those mid-range creatures, whether it's Druid the Claw, Spectral Knight. It's like cards that Sylvanas can challenge.
Yeah, Doomsayer absorbs 7 damage. Very good use again.
Not bad.
It's better that it kills everything, but I mean that's fair.
Yeah. Sylvanas can pick up pretty decent value here.
Doomsayer is also a really powerful card if you don't run many creatures, especially in Mage when you have removal. If you're dealing with a board that you can't really deal with, and they have Sylvanas, you can just play a Doomsayer and Fireball their Sylvanas. And I don't know. I like Doomsayer enough in decks where he doesn't have like crazy combos, and I don't know, maybe I should have given him a try in Mage.
Oh, well, look at this pickup from Thijs, who's got the Ancient of Lore. So big to draw these 2 cards at the moment and get that 5/5 on the board. Not to mention that Sylvanas has been dealt with.
Yeah, Sylvanas did work though. Nervate, what's the draw? Shade. Oh wow, that's a terrific draw. Wow, that is so much damage. Never mind.
Kolento did pick up Flame Strike, so he can just immediately answer the board too. That's a pretty good
Are we playing Arena right now?
I think
How many wins is Kolento at?
Gotta be at least an 8-win deck, right? 2 Flame Strikes, a Polymorph, Sludge Belchers, and Sylvanas.
Most of the Sylvanas, yeah.
Oh, how do you deal with this Trogzor, though? That's the first GVG card we've seen out of Thijs.
Yeah. It actually works very well here. Like, what do you need? Polymorph it? Polymorph basically debuffs it. It's like -3, -1. And the 1 is your hero power. It's basically 4 mana reduce the attack by 3. Is that really worth it? I don't think so. I think it's a Belcher Water Elemental.
Well, I guess Kolento's gonna opt to use his hero power to try and effectively ping down Especially since there will be 4 power spread out through the Sludge Belchers. So.
I wonder.
Well, Big Game Hunter is not exactly that useful, but does Kolento run any threats worth Big GH?
I think that answer is so poor from Kolento that you will force a nature down the Sludge Belcher.
I suppose you don't want to take any health away from Trogzor.
Yeah, there it goes.
Time waits for no one.
I think that's the way to do it. When you sense weakness, you keep going.
Yeah, you have 2 Force of Nature as well.
Yeah.
So you got 2 combos. You're still threatening to even kill him next turn.
Are you?
Well, oh, I thought he was going to innervate BGH. Never mind. I guess he's not going to do that, and actually that makes sense too because he knows.
No, he still has
opponent
lethal. No, he still has lethal. The innervate hero power is 23. It's 14 plus 8 plus 1.
You're right. You're right. Assuming he doesn't use Antique Heal Bot.
Yeah. You might not. 23 is technically out of range.
Do you play around the innervate? That's always a question, I guess, in the back of the mind.
What to do?
Can't really do so all the time.
To do.
Like, you want to play the heal bot and the water elemental, but you can't play both.
Yeah,
You have
and
to
you can't
ping the
hero
Trog.
power Trogzor down, so that
Yeah.
way the 3 attack challenges with the hero power next turn.
And you can't search for options, because that's going to spawn a 3-5 and really kill you. Man, that Trog, I've never seen Trogzor so effective as I am in this game. This is bringing some light my deck choices.
What's cool is that it's not in a situation where it's like you're winning more, because people always said one of the criticisms is like, oh, he just helps you win a position when you're already winning anyways.
Yeah, but
he
he seems to be so strong in the top deck situations because he nullifies cards. Like, you know, you draw a Trogzor, they draw an Arcane Intellect. Like, okay, you know, what can you do if you're the mage?
Well, that's why it's really painful that Kolento's not able to utilize his hero power over the course of 2 turns.
Yeah.
What to do?
Very clunky turns. Now, he did make the most effective play. That's very important to note. You couldn't just play the heal bot. It's a bit too weak on the board. You just take too much damage trying to control it after that. And if you just play the water elemental and ping, you'd actually die.
He's going for it. Well, here we go. That's 22 damage. Spread out, and he's going to use his combo to clear out, though. And I guess he's not going to burst him down. It's one of these. I guess it's one of these decks where Thijs realizes that he's not going to win just through killing his opponent in 1 turn, but just through grinding. Plus, his opponent can't deal with Trogzor.
Alright, well, Thijs goes for the 2 less damage to face to not freeze his hero, which is basically 1 less damage, but he receives 3 less damage, so that's a pretty decent trade in that sense. Kolento is basically fed up with this garbage. He needs to play something.
Oh, man.
There's Antonidas.
Yeah, and,
You have
well,
to
it's
ping
not
the
like
Trog here.
Trogzor went too far away.
Actually,
I
what if you played Ice Barrier to deny the big game hunter from being played?
I don't know if he's thinking about that.
Because
but
big
it
game
would be a
has
funny
to
scenario.
target something when it gets dropped. You can't play big game and not target anything. So if you actually play the Ice Barrier, Dice could not play his big game hunter. And I think there's like a way to see into this. I think this is why we're actually having Kolento wait out a turn here.
I mean, you do make yourself take more damage though in the process. So
I think here for Dice, you ram that big game hunter on the board as fast as possible. There's no more Flame Strike. You're not worried about anything. The only thing that's worrying is you're seeing Kolento desperate enough to actually cast spells. Nope. saved. But I
Yeah.
mean, why? It's double Doomsayer, double Flamestrike is down. What is the fear?
What? Well, I mean, what specifically is he saving it for? Is there Ragnaros in this deck, or is there?
I mean, if you Ragnaroses, why do you care? I mean, Ragnaros and the Frostbolt. That's still not enough.
Hmm. Well, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I think he's definitely keeping. I guess he's just not really sure what to expect from Kolento's deck, so he's playing on the safer, conservative side, which I don't think you can fault him for, because he's already in a pretty commanding lead.
Yeah.
Rather than throw away your one answer to a big threat, you can just take it a little bit slower, so there's no reason to give away. But I guess at this point, if he's just going to be playing spells, now BG8 could come out.
Yeah, but honestly, it might be a little bit late.
You require my assistance.
Well, after playing this Ice Bear, he's going to be 1 damage off. So Thijs needs to draw into any card that gives him 1 point damage to kill off his opponent right now. Unless he's going to trade into Antonidas with any of his minion damage.
Well, if he doesn't draw it, I think he will have to trade.
So Wrath for
Wrath.
1.
Oh, absolutely. You'd be crazy not to. Actually, no,
Wait.
you're right. It is precision. Like, if you Wrath for 1, you're basically choosing not to kill Antonidas. Wrath for 3 is maybe a bit safer. I think you're right. Oh, he does Wrath for 1. Judging by your laugh, I think you're a little bit ahead of me.
Well, I was just laughing because you Wrath for 1 to draw Wild Growth, and then then
Dr.
what happens
Boom's
is he
pretty
ends up
nice.
picking up Dr. Boom, and he can't actually do anything with it. So
Yeah.
yep, such is life. Is there any way for Kolento to survive this?
Yeah, it's blocking.
Does he run Ice Block in his deck? Oh, he picks up. Oh no, that's still not going to save him. Is it?
No,
Because
it
Dr.
doesn't-
Boom
it
is going
doesn't
to
save
challenge
him.
everything.
It doesn't save him from the hero power.
Well, he's going to kill off the BGH. So if he has a way to get
Oh, that's
past
true. That's true.
this
Yeah.
unstable ghoul. Oh! Looks like Thijs has drawn it too. The Keeper of the Grove will be able to just do direct damage.
Yep.
Or if you want to get fancy, he could silence the unstable ghoul and hero power.
Man, I was hoping for Dr. Boom's boom bots to be killed by the.
The Circle of Healing combination. It's not as bad as you think it is, essentially. Like, it took me a while to be convinced, but Priest is much more closer against Druid than Warrior. It's about like 45-55 in Druid's favor.
All right. Well, it looks like a fairly traditional priest, and I mean by what I mean by that is it's like the typical control-y stuff with the wild pyro, a bunch of spells. I saw this come back, but in the first couple days of ladder, it was pretty absent. I think people went a bit too crazy with the new cards, and I think Priest is actually a little bit weak with it. Like, people were cutting wild pyros and Akanais and stuff like that.
Right.
And I feel like the second half of the cards don't really work. Like, if you don't run Circle Heal, suddenly North Shark kind of sucks. Suddenly Wild Pyro is a little bit less effective. So I mean, when I made a Priest, I'm like, well, I mean, I get that it's less effective, and I just ended up getting rid of all of them. Like, no Injured Blade, no Circle Heal, no Akanai, no North Shark, no Wild Pyro.
Wow.
Just all the defense.
Then what's the point, Crip? Why even playing Priest?
Oh, because you steal all their crap with Shrinkmeisters, and you can actually fall behind completely on the board and Light Bomb. Like, you have like, you know, Mountain Giant, and a Faceless or something. Just whatever, Light Bomb, you're fine.
I guess it is better against Handlock if you put it that way. Well, I mean, you do have a couple of removal cards that have been cut from Priest. I think Shadow or Death is the first card that people look at and say, I don't need it as often because more than likely, I'm going to be able to shrink Meister and Shadow Word Pain in really tight situations.
Yeah.
So you often see double Pain, so that way Priest can stabilize earlier on. But like you said, there's a flurry of 4 health creatures. Is Priest going to be prepared for it in time? And I think Kolento has a pretty good starting hand. We're to
Yeah,
the
he has a
point where,
great start compared to the Druid
yeah.
here. The Druid has a lot of removal, but not much actual substance for the board.
I must consider.
Wow,
Do you
Kolento's
feel
really
like you
going
should
for it
play
here.
one of your Shrinkmeisters?
Absolutely not, but he might. I guess. I don't know. He's thinking about it.
It feels like poor value.
Well, it's a raptor.
Yeah, I guess so. And doesn't even have a tribe. Oh, Kolento doesn't even heal himself. That is manly. I think Kolento thought a little bit too hard and passed the turn at that point, forgetting that he could heal himself.
My stream might be behind. From my stream, it's still his turn. Oh, I see. I guess I'm just progressively falling behind. Damn.
My apologies, Crypt.
Alright.
I thought you had a good internet connection. Where you are.
I think I might be proxied up though. Let's see what I can do
Gotcha.
about that.
Well, Tice is gonna just plop down this Yeti and trade for the Wild Pyromancer. Pyromancers are just too much of a threat. And this is why you held on to Shrinkmeister, specifically because you can use the Shadow Word Pain with the Shrinkmeister on the Yeti. Goodbye, full health.
Can't you double Shadow Word? Can't you double Shrinkmeister in freebie mode?
Oh, I guess so. But, I mean, you want to use both of your Shrinkmeisters that early, too.
Yeah, I guess. Alright, alright. I am caught up here. We got Dice in a pretty uncomfortable position. I believe he's gonna Ancient Allure looking for more cards, but what is he really looking for?
I don't know. I mean, he also does have ways to remove, like you said, and he's getting. Eventually, he'll get to the turn where he can swipe and Wrath and start clearing this up. In the back of his mind, he's really worried about this. The Shade of Next Ramus too.
Yeah. Gonna be less worrisome in 2 turns. I mean, it's a pretty funny spot. Like, Vol'jin isn't great on that, but that's about as good as it gets against the Druid.
Well, he's
Get
got
one
the
health out
Akanai
of
Soul
it.
Priest. That's pretty decent.
Attack with the Shrinkmeister, Soul Priest. Looks like he wants to heal. Looks like he wants to draw a card. I support drawing a card here.
Okay. It's also fine.
That does make the swipe pretty good in terms of what it kills, but it still doesn't clear the board. You actually take some damage in the process, and the priest's gonna heal that card up that you gain. So, bit of a bummer, man. Like, if you're the Druid here, you effectively you just can't out tempo what's going on, and you can't kill him. It's a priest. He's at 29 health.
Yeah, it's like we were talking about. It can be pretty hard to fight back against priests if they control the board against druid.
Actually, the only thing that I see is perhaps putting down like some junk and then coin swipe next turn.
Oh man, he harassed the cleric so that way he can stop drawing cards.
Yeah. A bit desperate, but yeah, I understand.
Well, I mean, he also has swipe the next turn too. So effectively, he's gonna try and see if he can use swipe as removal. But Kolento's on top of it. He's gonna heal one of his Shrinkmeisters up to 2 health and put pet pressure back. And Druid's at 11 health remaining on turn 7. This is as if it's a very aggressive game, but it's just an opportunistic thing for Kolento here.
Yeah. And what can you do?
I wonder.
Wipe? Yep.
You might have to swipe again.
The other play is Charge Drew of the Claw Savage Roar. You still take 3, but you're left with something on board.
Yeah, that's true.
But you use more cards that you need to win, so
Where shall
I don't
I
know.
strike?
They both pretty sad. No charge.
Okay.
Oh, I mean,
well,
taunt.
yeah, it's the same effective thing where he's just gonna try and be defensive, take some damage. And is that
Vol'jin
it?
time.
Yeah, Vol'jin plus hero power. Nope, it's gonna be a little short.
Yeah.
The spirits.
Well, maybe Kolento can pick something up here. Holy smite! Oh man,
That's still
pretty
not good enough.
nasty. I know, it's just the fact that he has like all these ways to start doing combos and a little bit of burst damage too.
I mean, it's one of those games where the priest is just working, and he got off to a good start. He drew into answers. They worked. The druid got a lot of dead cards, like the. I mean, you see where that coin is positioned. You see, there's a one card to the left there. I mean, you just can't have that happen to you.
I can see.
Yeah, it does happen from time to time too. Just having too many situational cards. He drew 4 cards he couldn't play in a row. The BGA.
Class picking thing is a lot of guesswork. Man, that's a weird mulligan. I like it. Whoa.
Well, I mean, it's one of the most fundamentally important cards, right? I suppose. Especially if you want to answer an early threat from Priest that doesn't have Power Word Shield on it. Now, unfortunately, for Theis, that's
dirty.
exactly the case. Yeah. So, by the way, you were talking about how you like Mage against the Priest, but Theis ended up going with Warrior here. Do you really feel like that's the case where you think the Warrior's not very good against Priest?
I've got the beast in my sights.
I don't know. I played some Warrior, and it feels like the Priest can just kind of hang in there for a bit too long. But it does seem like Kolento's Priest cut out the deaths, so I mean, knowing that, not too bad.
Ooh, this is interesting. I like dropping the big game hunter to challenge the
Yeah.
Northshire cleric, because then it would take up his turn 3 as opposed to building something up, and you have Death Spite no matter how things go. So then how does Kolento respond here?
I think the best response is Pyro Coin.
I wonder.
Into heal?
Yeah. Not great.
I guess you
You
just
can't-
convert the coin into a whirlwind.
Yeah.
There's worse things in life.
You get your World Pyro back. How about that?
Yeah, it is a little susceptible to opponent's whirlwind, but it should be perfectly fine considering that Theis has a nice combination of answers here.
It's actually it's actually Theis that gets to pick how he wants to answer this. I mean, I feel like you have to Fiery War Axe the Northshire no matter what. But then what do? You don't want to owl a Pyro. I think you just Armor Smith into it.
Yeah. But then, I guess you're not really afraid too much about letting him deal with the Armor Smiths, because it is more of a throwaway card in this matchup, especially since Cabal Shadow Priest are still rampant more than ever, since everyone is obligated to run Shrinkmeister. So, with that, then I guess this Armor Smith is just perfectly fine to play.
Well, now if Kolento wants to deal with it, he has to heal up his Pyromancer and then Shadow Word Paint it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an Armor Smith.
I feel like it's better to just leave it on the board, and if he wants to attack with your Pyro, you kill it off with a Nova or your own Pyromancer and they'll spill later.
Yeah, I like taking the time instead to put out another creature, or minion, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like the Shade or do you like the Dark Cultist?
I think I like the Shade here.
It's an earlier investment for sure. I mean, the longer you wait to put it out, I mean, you want the Shade effectively to be like a legendary killer. Like, one of the things that Priest does end up struggling with is the balance between how they deal with the big legendary creatures while being able to seize the tempo from Warrior. And a lot of times, I'm not even sure if they're running Mind Control anymore, because they already have Shrinkmeister and
No, you gotta cut it.
Yeah. So then you need definitely like a lot of ways
Like-
to answer it.
Kolento's basically running all of the old Priest. He's running the Power Word Shields, the Northshires. He's running Oconides, which means he's also running Circle Healing. I think he's probably running the version with 1 Shadow Madness, no deaths, and possibly no injured Lightmaster. We haven't seen that card.
Oh, you gotta run Injured Blade Mask though. If
Well,
you
he's
have,
got
Auchenai,
shades.
right? You're right
Can,
though.
can you run
Shades
6 threes? I don't know.
I don't know if maybe he's split. Maybe he has one of each.
Mhm.
In tournament settings, it's pretty decent to run split, so that way you confuse your opponent. / you're able to get some pretty unique situations that you won't otherwise.
Well, Kolento's gonna be able to clean up with Holy Nova here.
Yeah, not bad. Tysus wants to set up for a Whirlwind on his Acolyte. He's in no rush. Warrior, at this stage of GVG development, does outscale Priest pretty well. All you have to do is make sure to control the state of the board, so that way they can never fully pressure you.
The damned stand ready.
Well, I feel like now Priest is actually winning. That's pretty surprising.
Wants to buff his Shade.
Yeah.
I suppose it's because Holy Nova doesn't really accomplish much. Like, the Whirlwind effect is going to kill off the Armor Smith anyways.
Well, he's gonna be able to Acolyte and draw a whole bunch.
Speak to me.
Yeah, no doubt. You just want to get closer to your later game cards. I wonder if what kind of flavor cards he is running though. Like, if he has Dr. Boom, which has become like the most popular legendary card in recent times, just because of how dominant he is when he hits the board.
Easily, like, yeah, it's just never really bad. You get the multiple creature aspect, like, I don't know, I put it in my aggro decks, it's Sea Giant.
Yeah. Oh,
3
that's
cards.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Not bad. Well, this is a perfect scenario for Shadow Madness.
Steals the card drop, that's like amazing value.
Yeah, that is something that very well could be the deciding factor between these guys. How many cards and resources are at their disposal. And Priest is often really good at that, especially with Thought Steal. Wow, this is actually somewhat hilarious, right? Ragnaros doesn't actually have that good of a play here.
I think it's good enough though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I guess the alternative isn't exactly the greatest. Sludge Belcher feels very weak. It's so simple just to kill it off with Shadow Word Pain, and then you can even Cabal Shadow Priest.
You think Shadow Word... Oh, there's a death there. You think Shadow Word Pain, Cabal Shadow Priest is superior to attacking? I guess it is.
I mean, you've held on to this Shade for so long. At this point, it'll pretty much kill whatever legendary comes out, and then that becomes another form of removal. Not to mention that I like that Cabal Shadow Priest might also take away like a Shield Slam or Execute of some sort. Just because he doesn't want to lose his armor.
Yeah, in the end, it's still a Yeti.
Yeah, precisely. Ooh, small hesitation. I think he wondered if he wanted to put out something else, maybe the Auchenai, but I think much better just to steal that one too.
There aren't that many targets to Cabal in the deck left. Now, this is normally the way that you have to set up a kill against the Priest as the warrior. It's the Alistraza, Ragnaros, possibly Gromash follow-up, but... Well, that's
no fear,
Vol'jin
bro.
Holy Smite.
Dang.
Brutal. It's basically, you play a 5/8 for 5 mana, and you kill their 8/8 for 1 mana.
It's crazy.
Or 6/8 for 5, yeah. So much
And
tempo.
of course you attack, because now is the time to brawl if you ever had it. You don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
There is no brawl. There is an owl, though.
Yeah, the owl does some destructive damage there. I mean, effectively it would be a 7/12. It removes 5/10 for a battle cry. Not bad.
Yep.
I think you
Owl doing
actually owl Ragnaros here. You have to clean up more of that board.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking about Owl and then Fiery War Axe and Lothep, but I like your play a lot better.
Fireworks kills the ooze thing, but not much after that. I like the Ragnaros. Almost half the time you kill something really good.
Yeah. I like that too. And you're also getting to the point where if you don't, like, your opponent knows that you won't have brawl, so if you don't stabilize the board and force him to trade a lot of his minions or have Ragnaros have a high impact, Ragnaros might not matter later on because you might have too many minions, you might be threat of dying. So in this stage, I think it's the perfect timing.
Oh, the shade goes down. Not the best. Man, Colin's got Thought Steal. Wow. There's no way he has Injured Blade Masters in this deck. No chance. Like, he has so many of the old cards, I think he's just cut one-ofs of the old cards. Like, he might even have one Akanai. He might actually not have Circle Healing. We haven't seen it yet.
Oh, just not having Circle of Healing when you have Akanai just feels so bad, though.
I mean, you just gotta look at the cards. Like, there's double Holy Smite, man. Shades.
Guess so.
I mean, Priest couldn't fit Shades in the old Priest deck. Now you have like 18 more cards you want to fit in there somehow. Wow, is that Shield Block Shield Slam? Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yep. I was gonna ask you what do you think he's gonna take.
Man. I've seen one of the blooper reels recently. It was after the warrior had played the mine guy, where you drop a mine in their deck that when drawn explodes for 10. The priest thought steals shield block shield slam, plays shield block, draws the mine, and shield slams for 0.
Well, that's pretty unfortunate. Lotheb's here because he can't do anything.
I think you trade. I think you kill Lotheb here. Like, you're so ahead, you just play as safe as possible. You just get that Lotheb off the board with your Akanai.
Okay.
I don't know how much removal you have after that.
Well, is there a way for you to press? You have,
Whoa.
Thought Steal. That is interesting.
He's looking for a cruel task or something? 2 more. Man, look at that shield slam!
Double shield block, shield slam, and execute. I mean, he's got so much removal. That's so big, actually, to draw removal in this matchup off of Thought Steal. It's like if you don't have a legendary, at least you have a way to deal with it. Game's actually quite funny.
Does he have lethal? No.
He's
only got 1 Holy Smite
6
in there.
damage.
Oh, he's got 8 armor. What am I kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been a chat legal, where you ignore the armor and one of the Holy Novas become a Holy Smite.
Well, if you shield slam the face,
oh, alright. I always thought that was possible. Double death.
2 deaths. Okay, so Kolento somehow has magically altered his deck to have 35.
He has like a 132 card deck right now.
Yeah. He'll never fatigue.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so disconcerting to see if you're Tyus. Like, how did he get that exact combination?
He's got double Holy Nova too. I even cut Holy Nova out of my priest deck. Holy Nova is garbage compared to Light Bomb when you need it. Because, like, you can deal with the small minions, the Shadow Menace, and Cabal anyway.
I mean, the only matchup that Holy Nova is really good in is against Hunter. And even then, it sometimes is too slow. Well, if you're in Ty's position, you're still not in a spot to even try and kill your opponent. Just have to take it one step at a time. And this is where the card
break down the armor.
Yeah.
Actually, Kolento can't have that many.
He has Harrison Jones too.
Yeah. But he can't have that many cards left in his deck. Like he's drawn with Northshire. He's gonna draw with Harrison. He drew with Shield Block, right? I can't see the card count, but it can't be that high.
Gotta be like 5 or 6 remaining. Oh my goodness. I guess he still has to pick his Shrink Meister, by the way, right?
Yeah, he's got 2 of them somewhere.
So,
This is the same deck at least. 7, yeah.
7 cards. How did that even happen? How does he have 7 cards still?
Whirlwind. Not the card you want to draw.
Like having a coin. Well, Tice hopefully has this Sylvanas on high impact. But I don't feel like it'll do much here. It stops the bleeding.
My. Shield block time. What's he looking for? Not that. Yeah, there's no way there's Injured Blade in there. There's no way there's Circle Heals. And that makes you wonder why the North Stars are still in there.
Yeah.
North Stars are really good against like the annoying garbage that usually Hunter brings, but most of the other classes have evolved from massive amounts of 1 health creatures.
Yeah, I guess you might as well just play Zombie Chow, just for board presence. If that's what you want. Well, I mean, things have worked out pretty good so far. How do you deal with Sylvanas? You can't ignore her.
No.
Can you?
No. Because it basically takes your, Okay.
Oh, alright.
I guess that's the best way to kind of ignore her.
Yeah, I like it.
To get her to attack into you.
What now?
Really clever the more I think about it, because he's able to sneak in damage. I mean, it's not like Tice is sitting on the most health ever.
I think if, in fact, it's actually Kolento that's on a little bit of a timer. I think he has far fewer cards in his deck. And if you really think about it, like, Dice, he's only drawn 3 legendaries. Sylvanas is, like, the weakest one, really.
Still needs Grommash, he still has Alex. And probably a Dr. Boom.
Does he have Alex?
Did he play it already? Oh, he might have played it already.
Yeah, it got Vol'jined.
Yep, you're right.
But, he has Grommash. And my guess is he probably has Dr. Boom and or Trogzor.
I have no time for games.
Well, that's what's clever about the play, I think, because Kolento realizes that he actually does need to kill his opponent soon. Going for that attack actually does matter, and now it's getting to the stages where Tice might have to play keep away for as long as he can. Shield block's pretty nice. Pick up Shield Slam.
Nope. Still buried in there somewhere.
Bleh.
I think this is good enough to execute.
I can take a hit.
How many
Okay.
Shadow Word Pains have you seen? You've seen 2, right?
Yeah, we've seen 2 the same game. He's
Okay.
definitely got 2 of those. And it is
he
mind
can't
control
Shadow
in
Word Pain
there.
the Shield Maiden. Oh, he has mind control.
Yep.
Wow, that's actually really funny.
Yeah. Well, I think that really seals the deal for Kolento. Like, he might start to fatigue a bit, but he's got so much life and he's got so many high quality cards.
Yeah, definitely. Just Shadow Word Death and move on.
Yep.
He's also got 9 armor, so he can scale really well into the fatigue game. That absorbs four turns of fatigue, essentially.
Oh, is that Shield Slam?
Well, good that he came out this turn and not the next, because it would have been a lot weaker.
I wonder.
I guess it's better that he drew Shield Slam now before his big threat, so that way if Dr. Boom came out, Sylvanas wouldn't complicate everything.
I'm really worried that he's gonna draw Grommash, play it, and die to it.
Get mind
after
control?
It gets mind control, yeah.
That's so sweet.
Good as it gets.
Yeah, I think you're actually, it's a really good analysis, Grip, that you're saying that he cut a lot of these cards, Circle of Healing and Injured Blade Master, because it is sometimes a combo dependent scenario where you can get more consistency out of your Shade of Naxxramas. I really thought he topped out though at Sylvanas. Now he has mind control in his deck.
Is someone injured?
And pyromancers. And all the shadow words.
Yep.
He might not be playing Dark Cultist too. Actually, he probably isn't.
No, we saw one play. He played
Oh,
the
he
Dark
is?
Cultist when there was a shade on the board.
Oh,
I
you're
think he might be
right.
playing one of Dark Cultist though.
Yeah. He split across them. Now I really want to see the list. I normally don't care too much about the list because I get. a
You
general
have
sense
to wait
of
until
what-
after the tournament to net deck
Yeah.
and get rank 1 EU.
Well, execute on the shade is his best bet of even surviving.
I'm almost out of cards.
And of course, I guess he doesn't care if this Northshire cleric starts
He wants him to
drawing
heal.
cards. Yeah. He's on the
Running
second to last
shrinks.
card.
Oh man, if you're Kolento, you don't want to play
Let me
anything.
change your mind.
That's the crushing
guess-
part.
Yeah. One Shrinkmeister's okay though. Don't you think?
Yeah, the Shrinkmeisters are useless. Like, I think that's his last Cabal.
Oh, that's so funny. Shrinkmeister's going to minion, but it's only temporary, so it's good. Alright. As long as it's not the Cabal Shadow Priest that survives,
Wow.
Tice looks like he can lock this up. And that's the best case scenario.
It's
Well done.
not locked up yet, because like, how can you really expect that that deck has mind control in it?
How many cards is remaining in Tice's deck, too?
Oh no, it's double Dark Cultist. There you go. Who knew?
Of course! Double Dark Cultist. What
Of course.
are we expecting otherwise?
Well, Tice needs some removal. Oh boy.
Oh, he's got Dr. Boom. Now he knows that one card is still Thought Stolen if he was able to keep track, but I don't think he's accounting for mind control at all.
Yeah, I think it's exactly the scenario I described. I think he's gonna play it thinking there's no way there's mind control in that deck, and then as it turns out, sorry.
Is he gonna attack after he plays Dr. Boom?
What now?
Try to get the whirlwinds off of the 1/1s? Or do you think he's gonna hold on to it?
I really don't know.
It is complicated because those 1/1 minions are threats technically.
Yeah.
It's like the same concept as Leopard Gnome, right? The more times you can hit with Leopard Gnome, the more damage you get because of its death rattle. So I guess he attacks before it, so that way he can get as much mileage out of his 1/1s. But Kolento is about to smack him down with a mind control, and does he have a response to that? He needs to draw into his executes or some way to deal with Dr. Boom.
He's already played one execute. I think he may have been down both shield slams though.
Oh man. How many cards remain?
Oh,
Tice has to
no,
be on his
there's
last
shield
5
slam.
cards too. Right on time.
With lucky bombs, Tice can take this.
Oh, you're right. But then what if the bombs hit the Dark Cultist and buff up Dr. Boom even more?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Oh man. And it's a pretty reasonable chance it can happen too.
Okay. Hold on. What do you do here? Oh god. That was a terrible bomb.
Yeah.
That
He
was
needs to
an
hit
okay
as Dr.
one.
Boom for 4! Oh, gets it. Alright, well,
Yeah, if
That
Dr.
was
would have hit
definitely-
for 4 there, that would have been pretty damn awesome.
alright, so this lone Dark Cultist has to do the job with the Holy Novas.
Grimash. Oh! No!
That is the worst draw that you could have gotten here.
That is so bad. That is so bad you can't even play it.
Oh gosh. How many cards does Tice have left here, Chris? Do
I
you
think
know?
3.
Oh man. That armor doing work, buying him lots of time.
You get it?
Second to last
something.
card.
Grimash is the last card.
Oh, Sludge Belcher is pretty nice. Stalls, but ultimately, Tice might die to fatigue way faster.
No, I think Kolento's gonna die to fatigue before Thijs.
You think so?
Yeah,
Oh, he's taking, what, is that 6 damage now?
yeah.
Or 5 damage? Oh, wow, that is a lot. Guess I was misled by the armor being shredded. So you Holy Nova here then. That's the only way you can keep this minion alive.
Well, you could execute him in Holy Nova. But you gotta be smart enough to know that there's a Gromash there.
Yep. So then it'll come down to Gromash, and then this Acolyte might actually be a difference maker.
Yeah.
That's funny, dude. There's gonna be 2 attack versus 0 attack, and both of them can heal.
But Kolento is behind an additional 4 on fatigue. That's really the biggest deal.
Well, the heal.
Will the warrior
I'm trying to
crush him?
calculate, but you think you think Tice has this? Looks like he's got 4 turns, because he's going to be able to armor up every single time. It's as if right now, because of his hero power, it's as if he's not taking any fatigue damage. That's the way I calculated pretty quickly.
Yeah,
And
Thijs, I think Thijs is
that's
gonna win.
Wow, what an insane game! Are you kidding me? How did Kolento get themselves in these situations? This is like the 5th game I've seen of him where he goes into like double fatigue wars, and it always comes down to like 1 or 2 turns.
Dude, that's a gore hell to the face from the deck.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way.
You have been.
Well played.
The armor up here from the Warriors is so clutch. He was dead in 2 turns, and that's gonna do it. So Kolento ends up losing by a turn and a half here, and that means Tice takes the series lead.
Kolento's deck, it's difficult to really anticipate which way it's gonna go. I think if you really looked at the board state, you know, maybe 5 turns, with 5 cards in Kolento's deck left, you really thought Kolento had the game, but I mean, you can't
Right.
fault him for the way that he played, and can't say he didn't get too unlucky either. Those Dr. Boom bombs weren't the greatest.
Well, I guess they got the job done. Without them, he wouldn't have any way to kill Dr. Boom. Now we're gonna go to the Warrior Mirror, which, you know, I'm actually joining in a little bit late because my stream hiccuped. So Kolento's the one with the Baron Geddon in hand, right?
Yes. I mean, Thijs revealed his whole deck in the last match, and there was no Baron Geddon to be had. Now,
Okay.
Baron Geddon is one of those very funky creatures in the Warrior Mirror, where sometimes it makes a pretty big difference, but like, you know, 3 out of 4 times it feels like it's terrible.
It's just BGH bait in the
Yeah.
Warrior Mirror more oftentimes than not, or just another removal that they use Shield Slam or execute on. And which is why people always said Dr. Boom is great, because Dr. Boom is like a Baron Geddon, which doesn't hurt you back. Because that's one of the things too, where Baron Geddon does end up impacting your own board, and you don't want to necessarily destroy it, especially if you have remaining small creatures like Armor Smiths and Sludge Belcher Slimes, assuming you're in a position to not get them up.
Well, the first person to get their weapon out is usually in pretty good shape because you get to control the death rattle, but it's definitely going to go the distance here. Like, they're basically just screwing around. You know, here's Armor Smith, there's Armor Smith.
Screwing around.
Here's a couple of cards, there's a couple of cards, some more armor. Yeah. Basically, nothing's gonna happen for a little while here. Oh, that's pretty good,
Oh,
though. That's a pretty good
high
form of nothing.
impact.
Yeah. I mean, do you go for the Greed Dream? Do you see if he has another weapon behind?
Well, you know he doesn't have Gorohal in the deck, right? You've seen all of his cards. So there's really nothing else other than a second Death Spike to grab. So I think Harrison Jones here is perfectly fine.
Well, Harrison Jones will die to a very similar weapon that he ended up collecting.
Well,
That's pretty
I
good.
guess it's totally worth though. Harrison Jones drew an entire card and killed off an entire Death Spike.
Yeah. It's slightly better than Azure Drake, and Azure Drake's pretty good in these drawn-out games.
Okay, well, it's like you said, Crip. Not much happening, but pay attention to a lot of the player that starts using a lot of the removals early on inefficient creatures. Unless they're being able to be aggressive, they're gonna fall really far behind. But there is a way you can play aggressive in this matchup. It's not like both players are gonna be always defaulting to being really control-y and defensive. In fact, Kit Kat's always told me that he always tries to play as aggressive as possible, and it gives him like a 70% win rate in the mirror. Of course, every player says that they're 70% plus whenever they're playing a matchup they like, but I usually try to listen to Kit Kat when he's talking to me about Warrior.
Yeah. But if you have armor your opponent doesn't, you're always going to apply pressure on them. And it's harder to tell in these matchups because everything moves so slowly, but I do know from playing a lot of arena games that a lot of very strong decks are strong because they have a lot of weapons. And if you just go all in, you really nullify that strength because they can't afford to use them on your creatures. So it kind of accomplishes both those goals.
Right,
You put pressure on their ability to remove your creatures, and even more so when they're not actually able to use their shield slams as removal.
Tice really wants to deal with Dr. Boom through Execute, but then that really... Oh, I guess you could coin out the Sludge Belcher. Never mind. I thought that's going to stem his production. But, yeah. Seems like that's a pretty strong line of play, as long as these Boombots do minimal damage. If they shoot the Shield Maiden for 4, well then, what are you going to do?
What do you do here? That is an interesting one.
You set up a big Baron Geddon play?
Yeah,
if the bombs go well?
I was actually thinking that.
What now?
Let's see. If it hits a Shield Maiden, there's a 75% chance it sets up a pretty good shot with Baron Geddon. And of course, you do 1 or 2 damage to Sludge Belcher, so it just has to hit it with 1 damage. So it's a pretty good statistical chance, as long as it hits the right target, that it lines up correctly.
I wonder.
And you also have Whirlwind to fall back on in case it does the worst scenario, which is just 1-1. Well,
That's good.
good enough.
Shield Maiden time.
Yep.
Shield Maiden? Shield Maiden?
Happened.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh man. It was like all those Boombots were Elven Archers that just hits the slide.
That was literally the worst thing ever.
Well, I guess you still go with it because you kill off the slime at least. But Baron Geddon had pretty low impact, and Shield Maiden actually has really good value here.
Yeah, just the easy kill on the Geddon, man. 7-5 dies to a 5-1 that already did its task.
The Magma Rager.
Now, the Dr. Boom against an empty board seems pretty strong here.
Yeah, although he does have a good response. Does have
What is it?
like shield block, armor up, shield slam, and then armor.
I think it's too slow. Yeah.
Think that's too
Arturo
slow?
agrees.
Okay.
Yeah, it's too slow.
All right.
You just progressively fall behind if you make that play, I think.
Well, he plays a little bit more aggressive. He has Gromosh too, so that does allow him to follow up this Alex draws. It's not just an empty threat.
What
I
now?
think it's time. I think it's the Alice Ferraza return.
That is pretty awesome, especially since you have Gromosh too. I think you're right.
What is he doing?
Is he gonna execute instead, based off the evaluation of this bomb? This is interesting.
Then that means he's playing Sylvanas. Okay.
I have no time for
Wow, that bomb did a lot of damage too. Put him at 15 health. That's pretty scary. I don't really know how Kolento can stabilize here, short of drawing a brawl.
Our big game would do
Oh,
a lot of work.
Wait, he's got double shield block. He's fine.
Oh yeah, double shield block, double shield slam.
Yeah. And then cool task the 1/1. I guess you could just drop Armor Smith too. It's effective.
I like Armor Smith. Yeah.
Yep.
And the cruel task is like a lot more combo in, especially with Grommash in hand. Your opponent at 19. You don't want to use cruel task there.
Wow. Okay, so guess you could have the worst or the most ineffective Alex Straza of all time.
I don't like it. I think Grommash Kill the Armor Smith is great. You protect your Boombot, and right now with both players on few cards, I think it's worth it. Yeah, I don't like that.
I guess he's just trying to see if he has the second execute, because he already used one. This is like the final test, essentially. He already used both shield slams. And it turns out to be okay, because there's really no way at the moment to deal with it. There's no big game hunter in Kolento's hand. Oh! Oh boy.
I guess you commit to that, but
Yep.
we know he's gonna win. Armor Smith just wins.
Well, she just backflips out of there.
Oh, no. Apparently the Boombot trumps the Armor Smith.
Oh, that's right. KitKat's made an addendum to that.
Did
Said
he?
Boombots. Yeah, he always says Boombots win now. Like,
Really?
that's a
No
big
way.
priority. He did. He did.
Wow. Alright.
It happened like 3 times on stream where he had Dr. Boom on his side, and then like it died, and then he had the brawl, and then the Boombots kept winning.
Well, that's another synergy then. Those things are awesome.
Yeah.
Two, but to the wrong target there.
Well, I suppose he's used brawl. He could have easily executed it, or he might have been saving it. Is it time to Grommash now? Or did he miss his window?
Well, you're down on execute, you're down 2 shield slams. The only thing you're really worried about is a big game hunter.
And even then, you still have Ragnaros, right?
Now that I don't really like. I don't
Ooh,
like the Armor
attacking.
Smith. Yeah. Oh, there's the execute.
Oh, what a draw from Kolento. Dang. Oh, well, I mean, that's his last form of removal short of a bouncing blade.
Yep.
Which, only Peeny's running as far as I know.
Well, Thice still has a good answer with the Shield Slam on the Shield Maiden. And the, yeah, the big game's gonna do some work whenever that Grommash decides to show, but... Oh no! Oh my god. Don't do that.
There are so many targets to play.
It's so funny, like, he refused to play big game when he was playing Druid, and now it's like, whatever, apparently. Yeah,
Well,
it's a 4-3.
well, I mean,
I just don't understand.
there's so many targets in a
No.
Warrior deck.
No!
Right?
Oh my god! Alright,
He thinks his
so I
opponent's
guess
out of answers.
Kolento takes his Grommash and walks over Thice now.
Wow. I am actually really baffled by it. You know, he was thinking about putting on some pressure, and he's thinking what he's done with all of his executes and his shield slams, but still, like, now you have to deal with this Grommash.
Oh, you can deal with it. Look at that. Whirlwind, sacrifice your dude into Fiery War Axe. That beats Big Game Hunter by a lot, doesn't it?
Well, because you also would have a 4-2 at the end of it.
Oh god, that's so painful.
Yeah, and now he doesn't actually have any cards, so that Sylvanas is a legitimate threat too. And on top of like anything else off the top,
Speak to me.
sure. I mean,
He's got no
Acolyte
cards, you just
too.
play stuff. You're at 30. Oh, what? I mean, I guess you want to be greedy with Sylvanas?
Sure. Opportunity
Wait for a
cost too.
legendary.
Being able to armor up is nice.
Okay.
I think Kolento recognizes that he's down in the removal game too, and Sylvanas is essentially a board removal. Because he doesn't have Brawl, he doesn't have any Executes or Shield Slams left. Oh, he does have Execute. Oh, it was Tice that was using the Execute early on. Okay.
Was it? Oh man, must have mixed it up as well.
Either that or Kolento somehow has 3 Executes.
I mean, you can fit 3 executes in a 128 card deck.
That's what I've been doing wrong.
Did you actually see one of the images with Malorn? If you like faceless him, you can actually fill your deck with Malorn. So there's like a screenshot of a guy with a 130 card deck.
Wait, what? Seriously? How does that work? How do you get more than 2 Malorn? Or like I guess more than you faceless Malorns?
I don't remember exactly, but I guess one way would be like Echo of Medivh, for instance.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's very specific. You have to faceless your opponent's Malorn and Echo Medivh.
Well, you don't just get 130 cards in your deck. You gotta work for it.
Alright, well, Tice, he has the board, but we all know that Kolento has the final answer at the moment. And also, Kolento's running away with the health game, so if it comes down to fatigue, he is going to be in a very, very dominating spot. He already somehow bounced back up to the mid-40s here.
Oh, it goes more than that. It's all about the fatigue, man. It's whoever takes that like first double-digit fatigue hit. That's usually the one who loses.
Yeah.
I thought you were familiar with this matchup.
I mean, I don't really play much Warrior on ladder anymore. This is actually really funny.
This is very typical, I think.
You gonna pass?
Yep.
Armor up pass.
Oh yeah, it's consistent with the other turns.
Who's the one who's deeper into their deck at the moment?
It's really hard to tell. I think they're very close. I think neither player really squeezed too much value out of Acolyte. A lot of shield blocks have been played. It can't be too one-sided. Like, it's probably one guy is winning by 1, maybe 2 cards right now.
Ooh.
The thing is,
Right.
if it's Kolento that has 2 cards more in his deck over Thijs, because he has a life lead, he probably will just win because of fatigue.
I don't know if it's gotten to that stage yet, though. Basically, until they say they're almost out of cards, or if we can summon the power of spectator mode and hover over the deck, we can see. But, you know, I do like just holding on to it. I think the way Kolento's playing is also, like, as if he is ahead on cards.
Ooh, man. Here comes Sylvanas. Do you know
And you
what
already
card
used his
sucks
towel, right?
to have in hand when your opponent has a Sylvanas? That's the Brawl.
He's got his own rag, too, to follow this up in the next couple turns.
And if you're Kolento, you can afford to take some hits from Rag here if it misses. Oh yeah.
Well.
Oh yeah. Is it gonna happen?
I don't know. Alright, well, he just armors up. And this rag just has to not hit Sylvanas immediately.
That's good.
Right. Okay.
I think it's Rag time.
Think so? Or you mean to steal the rag?
Yep.
Okay. They meant playing rag. Shredding the remainder of the armor?
He wants a full health Rag.
Well, I guess it's because he couldn't deal with it in the past. Now it gives an opportunity for Sylvanas to steal something else.
Oh man. These moments where you're like, man, why not just pick Hunter?
Yeah, I guess so. Or just, why didn't I just 3-0 with Druid?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I guess he's just gonna leave it up. You don't want to take away another rag shot, so... No!
Oh, there he goes.
It hits the Sylvanas! God,
Oh.
it takes the Sludge Belcher, so he's dodged it.
Yep.
Alright,
Now
here we go, Rag
It's
Wars.
Colento's time to rag. Now there's some very unfortunate things that could happen to Kolento here. Rag could miss, and then Brawl could keep Thijs' rag.
Oh.
And then Kolento might lose the game.
Yeah, because Kolento's out of answers, right? In terms of removal.
Yeah.
Here we go. Brawl to increase the chances of one of his minions surviving.
You just can't have Kolento's rag and then you're in decent shape.
No, the Sludge Belcher survives. That's pretty poor too, considering how much pressure his opponent's gonna be able to put on in just a couple of seconds.
Oh, looks like Kolento has the fewer cards in the deck though.
No, but he's got so much damage and burn.
Yeah, no, that's lethal. That's lethal. That's 9.
Oh, you're right. The cool Taskmaster.
Yeah, that makes it. Well, it's
And
hard to
that's
say
gonna
that he drew well there. There's only 2 cards left in Kolento's deck, I believe. So.
He top deck the only answer.
Top deck, the only
man.
answer. His deck is crazy. And we are going to take a little bit of a break here to have our next match set up. Now we
Deck aggression, or even a slightly slower mid-range version that we've seen. Has to be. What do you think?
well, we can't see the cards quite yet. But I do have to say that with Baron Ged and all the removal that Kolento has, the mid-range version might have some trouble clearing.
Secrets Mage.
I like to run Mad Scientist in Mech Mage.
Oh, you do? Interesting. That's pretty cool too. Well, this if it's a Secrets Tempo Mage, which it still could be Mech too, but either way, Secrets are very hard to deal with for Warrior. This is the only form of Mage that I think favors Mage or in the matchup. Every other version of Mage usually gets stomped on by Warrior, from my experience. Oh man, Frost Elemental off the unstable port.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good. Considering you're all about trying to snowball the board and making sure that you can grab
tempo's
tempo.
everything.
Yep.
But I mean, the Warrior's doing really well too. I mean, you have the Armor Smith, you have the Cruel Task, you have the Fiery War Axe. It's like the trifecta. That's everything you want.
Oh, smacking the face with the weapon to get to pave the way for the Death Spite.
Well, he has no other play. My only concern is that is like a very direct message to Thijs. It's like, I have a Death Spite. What you have.
Hey, good call, Crypt. There is still there are mechs in this deck. There is Mech Warper in hand, so he is going to be playing Secrets with that Mech Mage. I haven't actually seen it too much in action. So this deck, what are you primarily scaling off of, and like what are some of its win conditions?
Oh, it's just super annoying to deal with. It's like almost impossible to take the early game from it. But I mean, because Kolento's opener is like literally as good as it gets, I think he's gonna be fine. I think Kolento is probably gonna win this game, just because he can deal with the opener here. A duplicate on the Frost Elemental though, that's a lot of value in hand.
Not bad. Double Mech Warper.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Mech Warper, Harvest Golem.
Power up.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if you're able to get like this type of opener down, and you have like Echo of Medivh, it's just the game is yours.
Okay, well, thankfully Kolento does have some answers in place.
Not
He's
too
even got
great,
a Whirlwind. Well, yeah, he can draw though. Make sure he can fish for a better answer. It is problematic though that there's another Frost Elemental coming, so he can't get the second swing of Death Spite easily.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, like, you might be able to use that to your advantage, but I don't know. I think you want to try to make use of the Acolyte this turn. I think I like killing Harvest Golem. Yeah, there we see
Both
it.
of them, and then Whirlwind.
I don't
Or just killing one.
Yeah, I'm just killing one. It's a nice card.
Yeah, for sure. Go off of Mech Warper. Make it a little bit more difficult. The double Frost Elemental, though, it's just so hilarious.
Those are very poor draws from Thijs, though. Like, you never want to, like, if you're playing double Mirror Entity, you want to Mad Scientist into that. You never want to draw both of them.
Right. Or even, I don't think you have Kieran Tormage in this deck, do you?
No, never.
Okay.
Not with Mechs, too. You can't,
Yeah.
you can't fit the space. I was thinking of not Frost Elemental in here.
Well, it's starting to come onto those power turns where Warrior just drops really significant, strong minions. But thankfully for Kolento, he does have a way to answer and test for this Mirror Entity.
The thing is, like, with this type of mage deck, I feel if you run Mechs and the secrets with the Mad Scientist, it's kind of hard to fit in all the removals that you normally want in your deck. So, like, we see Fireball, that means I actually kind of doubt that he has Polymorph in his deck.
Right. What's the top end of this deck? Like, what's your late game? Is it still the same as Antonitis and everything else?
It's hard to tell. Like, if you don't say Clockwork Gnome, it's hard to guarantee Antonitis.
All right. He knows it's not counterspell. You're gonna test for the Mirror Entity, and this also simultaneously tests for duplicate as well. So a nice play around here and convenient, but once again, the second Mirror Entity will be a problem down the road for sure.
Chugga chugga. There's a little guy.
Yeah, it's
Freeze for
not
days.
too bad. Do you think you want to play another Mirror Entity to try to catch whatever comes afterwards?
Yep. I think they're best back to back. You Mirror Entity Chuggaroni.
Definitely a good mix-up. Because Warrior doesn't have many small minions after this, right? He's already played his Armor Smith, cool Taskmaster.
Kolento's literally got all of them down already. Like, he's already played double Cruel Task, Acolyte, and Armor Smith.
I don't know if Kolento's running an Owl.
Was he the one with the owl, or was it Thijs? I thought it was Thijs.
Oh, you're right. Thijs is the one with the Owl.
Yeah, I can remember owls, just not who actually won the game. Difficult part.
I have no time for games.
Well, I guess secure time as ever to drop something that has high impact, and Sylvanas is definitely the case here.
Oh, the Blast Mage is a good draw.
Yeah,
not for this turn, but it just adds a little bit of damage that you can do.
Yeah, definitely. There's no mech other than the Snow Chugger, and I guess you could play that afterwards.
I think I like
you can also just go
Frost
for it.
Elemental.
Yeah.
Full deny on weapons.
So much freeze. That all came from an unstable portal too and a duplicate. It's so funny. Alright, Mirror Entity to catch the wild Ragnaroses of the wild.
I can take the hit.
Okay, Shield Maiden can get answered with a Shield Slam though, so this is pretty convenient once again for Kolento.
Yeah, very efficient removal. Shield Maiden's one of those cards that some of us, including me, doubted a little bit. I just didn't think the warrior needed more life. But to be able to armor up and put a creature on the board at the same time can be such a big tempo play. And we're seeing just that there.
Alright, well, he is running Sylvanas, which makes sense considering Duplicate does get synergy there. I wonder if he tops out at Ragnaros at all. Because I do know a few of those Europeans loved having Ragnaros in this type of deck. But it wouldn't surprise me to see Sylvanas being topped out either. Loving the aggression from Kolento. He has Whirlwind and Grommash prepared.
Yeah.
And he's looking to end Game 5 right here, Crip, if given the chance to. But it looks like there's a good answer for Thijs to hold off on that a little bit.
Steal the, yeah, let's run. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking like you could. I guess you don't want to give up your snow chugger that easily. It is very annoying for War to deal with if they can't utilize weapons.
Kolento's fishing for some kind of removal for Alistrazi here. Probably the last turn where you can actually kill something with a shield slam.
Okay. Well, Sludge Belcher can stall for a little bit, but this is where cards like the Blast Mage actually are pretty nuts.
Thing is, like, Kolento doesn't really have much in the way of activators for Grommash. I mean, he already used both Cruel Tasks in the early game. I don't think he's running 2 Whirlwinds. He's already used 1 Shield Slam. And I don't think he'd want to use the second one to activate Grommash.
Well, maybe he doesn't have to if he gets Brawl very soon. Blast Mage deals with it. Lotheb deny an easy play of a lot of spells. Kolento needs to find a way to handle this board right now.
Man, terrible. That's so bad. I think he developed the weapon. No, he's going with Harrison. Man, Snow Chugger's sealing the deal here.
It's a really high impact card, especially against Warrior. Weapon classes in general. This card single-handedly allowed me to beat a lot of Warriors and Rogues on ladder.
How can Kolento win? He has no win condition if he weapons.
He needs to draw a Brawl and stabilize, because then his weapon plus Grommash can be killing damage over 2 turns.
I think he can only stay alive with Brawl, actually.
18-20 damage on the opposite end. Jeez.
Yeah.
That belongs in a museum.
Playing Harrison doesn't actually do much, but playing the weapon doesn't give him lethal, because he can't draw lethal. He's gonna be missing 1 damage.
Yes, unless... Yeah, there's no way for him to do that. Because he couldn't swing. But now Tice, he picks up a Mad Scientist. Another great way just to fish through his deck efficiently. I guess you're just all in at this point. You clearly would have brawled if he had it.
Oh, yeah. Now Tice has to do something really dumb here to lose. Okay. No dumb moves are made. That's good.
Shield Maiden isn't a brawl. And let's see, that's 8, 10, 16, 21, 22 points of damage. Kolento's still barely alive.
Not only is he barely alive, but he's in winning position now with that drop.
Yeah. So if Tyson have a way to stop this damage... What? Okay, the Yeti has to get a spare part here. Or the Mad Scientist has to get... Yeah. But what can the scientists get?
I wonder.
Ice block or ice barrier.
Ice block and a mech mage. I mean, I guess...
I play it in mine.
Yeah, it's just funny because that's not the first thing that comes to mind. That's like the first secret you play around.
Well, I run the Echo in my mech mage with the secrets, and I use ice block because I use the
the Molten
Giants.
Right. What if he gets like
Oh! Big draw.
Wow. I was like, what if he gets a time rewinder and then like Alex draws himself back up or something?
Runs out on me.
That's also cool.
Now, what do you taunt?
Who's
Mad Scientist?
highest health? Mad Scientist? I was thinking Lothar here.
Okay.
Just because you want the highest health. Like, Scientist... What if he just gets... I don't know. Wrecked. So it's Cruel Taskmaster? No, he used both of them, you're right.
Yep.
Brawl?
Shield Slam is not good
man.
enough.
Is that it?
No, I mean, he could always taunt Grommash.
Okay, taunt Gromash, but he can't armor up. So Gromash. Oh, so he whirlwinds, Gromash, and then taunt. No, I'm pretty sure there's enough damage overkill though, right?
You're right. Because the Alistraza would deal with it. By
Alexstrasza's done
itself.
so much damage.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a way out of this.
He might do all the calculations once again. So if you whirlwind and then Gromash attack to preserve your health count and then taunt it up, it'll be a 10-4. Yeah. 2 minions simply trade into it.
Yeah.
And Alex
there's
gets
no
the
way.
final win.
What you can do is taunt the Snow Chugger, then run your Gromash into it, so it can absolutely die in this game and show his boss.
Yeah.
That's the play.
Established dominance.
Yep. And get that garbage off the board.
Oh boy, well, that's going to do it, I think. There's just no way for Kolento to try and survive this one because it looks like he's just going to be a little bit short. Man, if he just had an execute or something to deal with his Alexstrasza, but Thijs takes a very close game 5 to this series. And he
Oh, we just saw Clockwork Gnome there. Look at that.